Greetings and welcome to Jesus is Your Word.tv. My name is Musa and I'm happy for you to join me today. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get all the updates. So today I'm just going to share a little bit of what I'm introducing to the topic. So I am here in Turkey's very beautiful country. I'm planning to go to Ephesus. And it's a very good place full of history, especially about the early church believers. So it's here in Turkey, Ephesus, here in Antalya. So it's just I think like 4-hour drive to Ephesus. So that's what I'm planning to do, just to see the history of the early church. And what I'm trying to introduce to the channel is called Scripture Clinic, because there are a lot of verses which we misinterpret, which has been misinterpreted for many years, and when we misinterpret scripture, we lose the benefit of scripture and we tend to divert from the very first purpose of the scripture. I'll give an example. When we read the book of John chapter 14 verse 6, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. No one comes to the Father except through me. Most of the times we misinterpret this verse. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one cometh to the Father but by me, except through me. And I've had a lot of debate saying, Jesus is the way to God, so it means there are other ways as well. Been debating, I've had like different debates saying, there are many ways, maybe there are other ways, because we misinterpret the scripture. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So we misinterpret to say Jesus is the way to the Father. Jesus is the way that goes to God. And that is not what Jesus is saying. And that is what a lot of people think. Jesus is just the way to God. And that is not what Jesus is saying. Let's read again. No one comes to the Father except through me. He's not saying no one goes to God except through me. No one goes to God and no one comes to God are two different things. And he's letting us know that where God is, that is where Jesus is. Had he said, no one goes to God except through me, it will make sense to say he's just the way. But he's saying no one comes to God, no one comes to the Father. He's not just the way to God, he is the destination where God is. No one comes to God. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father. It doesn't say no one goes. You're not going there. You are coming here. You are coming to Jesus. In other words, to go to God is to come to Jesus. How do you go to God? It's by you coming to Jesus. And that makes sense. He didn't say no one goes to the Father. He says no one comes. That's why in chapter 16 they say, show us the Father. And Jesus was like, what are you saying? He who has seen me has seen the Father. Because when you go to Jesus, you are coming to God. It's not just the way where you can say, if you want to go to town, use R16, then you go to town. And Jesus is just like R16. No, Jesus is the destination to where you are going. He is taking you to the Father, and that is where Jesus is. No one comes to the Father except through me, because the Father is in me and I am in him. So to say Jesus is just the way to God, it's incorrect. He's not just the way to God. He's also the destination of that which we seek to find in God. He is the outward appearance of who God is. He's the destination. So when you say, we have one God, so Jesus is just the way to that God. No, Jesus is who we worship as God. If you are a Christian, you understand that Jesus is the glory of God. Let me just clarify this as well. A lot of times when we say the Son of God, and I've had this argument, I've listened to some of the arguments. When we say Son of God, we are not saying God having a son just like man having a son. I remember I had, this colleague of mine who's like, was other religions. It was like, how can God have a son if he doesn't have a wife? And I understood he doesn't understand when we say Son of God. And I believe maybe some Christians don't understand when we say he is the Son of God. When we say Jesus is the Son of God, we mean that is God in the flesh. And that is what the Jews understood. And that is what they know when you say you are the Son of God. They wanted to stone him when he said he is the Son of God. They say, we're not stoning you for anything but because you being man make yourself equal with God. Why? Because they understood when he said he's the Son of God. That the Son of God, when we say Son of God, we are saying God in the flesh, God in human flesh. We are not saying God having a son just like me having a son with my wife. No, Son of God means God in the flesh. When you read the time before he was crucified, they took him to the high priest, and the high priest did ask him, are you the Son of God? And Jesus said, yes, I am the Son of God. And the high priest rented his clothes. And I will explain that a high priest is not supposed to rent his clothes and stuff like that. I will explain later on. So the high priest rented his clothes, and he said, we don't need any more witness. We heard what this man said. He just said he's the Son of God. And that is why when we say Son of God, the Jews understand this is God in the flesh. The high priest understood when Jesus said he's the Son of God, that he's saying he's God in the flesh. This is what Isaiah was saying. Who can believe our report? I saw God in a man. I saw God among us. Emmanuel means God is with us. Literally, he's here with us. And he said, who can believe that? Why? Because Son of God means God in the flesh. When we say Jesus is the Son of God, we are saying God in the flesh. God in his glory manifested in the flesh. So this series that I'm planning to start and introduce about Scripture Clinic will battle some of those topics and misunderstandings about the scripture. That Jesus is not just the way to the Father. He is the destination which we seek to find when we're looking for God. No one comes to God. If I say, are you going to church? It might mean maybe I'm not in church. And say, are you going to church? But if I say, are you coming to church? It means I'm there. That's what Jesus is saying. No one comes. He didn't say no one goes. Are you going to town? Are you coming to town? It means I'm definitely, So this is what we need to understand. So those are just some of the minor misinterpretation of scripture, which many people don't understand. Son of God. How can God have a son? You don't understand what it means to be the Son of God. Son of man. You don't understand what it means to be Son of man or Son of God. It means God in the flesh. And these are some of the important topics that I'm planning to bring. And the next one that I'm planning to bring will be where Jesus said, this kind doesn't go except by prayer and fasting. And we normally talk about demons, whereas that verse has nothing to do with demons. And I'm going to explain later on the next series. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you get involved, talk to us. There are a lot of people who've been sending us emails and asking questions, and we really appreciate that, to engage and get in touch. And I hope to see you in the next broadcast. It's so hot in here, and they did tell me, Turkey is very hot, and I'm like, I'm from Africa, but now this is very, very hot. So that's it for today. So I was just trying to introduce the new topic that I'm going to bring into the channel, and that is Scripture Clinic. Hope to see you soon. Take care and God bless.